Hi, I'd like to share with you the division strategy for dividing larger numbers with a remainder using fair sharing. Okay, so let's say we've got a large number like 598 and we're dividing by 4. Okay, we want to make sure that we take that 4, which is going to be our divisor, and know that that's going to be the number of groups that we're using in our fair sharing. Okay. Once we've got our number of groups, we think to ourselves, okay, we're going to have to use one of the multiples of 1, 10, 100, or 1,000 to multiply times this the divisor, the 4. Okay. All right. So with a number like 598, I think to myself, okay, I can't say or 1,000 times 4 because that's going to get me 4,000. So that's way too big. So I'm going to take that 1,000 away. And I think, well, can I multiply 100 times 4? Well, sure, 100 times 4, I know 100 times 4 is 400. So that means 400 is smaller than the number I'm trying to divide. I can fair share 400 between these 4 groups. So I'm going to take that number 400 and I'm going to divide it equally between the 4 groups. 100, 200, 300, 400 gives me 400. I'm going to keep my running total over here. So I'm going to take my total number that I'm dividing and I'm going to subtract my 400s that I've equally shared in each of my groups. And when I'm through subtracting those 400s, I'm going to have 198 left. Okay. Then I'm going to come back over to my friendly numbers or my multiples of 10. And I'm going to think to myself, well, what multiple of 10 can be multiplied times 4 to get me close to 198? Well, thinking about 198, I know 10 times 4 will give me 40, but that's really far from 198. So let me try 20 times 40. 20 times 4 is 80. That's still pretty far from 198. So now I'm going to think 30 times 4. Well, 30 times 4 is 120. And 120 is really close to 198, it's getting closer. But you know what? There's even a closer number. If I do 40 times 4, that's going to give me 160. Now note, I'm calling out these bigger numbers pretty fast. But all I'm really thinking is the basic fact. What basic fact helped me know that I could get 160 times, what basic fact helped me know that 4 times 40 was 160? If I know 4 times 4 is 16, I know 4 times 40 is going to give me 160. So the fair share number I'm going to use is going to be 40. 40 times 4. I would divide out that 40 in my fair shares, my 4 fair shares, and that's going to be a total of 160. I'm taking away from 198. And then I'll be left with 38. So then I come over here and I think, okay, I've used a multiple of 10. I can't use a multiple of 10 anymore when I'm going to be trying to multiply times 4 or divide by 4 groups. So now I'm going to have to use a multiple of 1. Well, I have to think, I could do 4 times 1, but that's so far away from 38. Is there a number times 4 that will give me close to 38? Well, if I know my multiplication facts, I know 9 times 4 is 36. So I could do 9 times 4, and I would put that 9 in those 4 different groups, and it would give me 36. When I take 36 from 38, I'm going to be left with a remainder of 2. Okay? So my answer is going to be what's in each group. What's in each group? What was shared fairly between the 4 groups? It was these 3 numbers, 100, 40, and 9. Okay, when I add those 3 numbers together, I'm going to get 149, remainder 1. That's using the division strategy with larger numbers showing fair sharing. And remember, you usually think of those multiples of, excuse me, those friendly number multiples like ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, and so on. Okay, I hope that was helpful.